What up, everybody? Power Book 2 Go Season 1. We are introduced to the Tejada family, the father Lorenzo, the mother Monet, and their 3 children, Kane, Drew, and Diana, as well as their cousin, Zeke, who we later found out was actually Monet's secret son. Season 1, Lorenzo was in prison running the family business from the inside until Diana stole money from Monet to pay lawyer Davis McLean to see if he could get Lorenzo out of prison. And halfway through Season 2, Lorenzo was a free man. Now, a lot of people have brought this up over the years, the fact that Lorenzo appeared more powerful in prison than he was when he actually got out. But to understand why, we have to look at the chess analogy that Tariq gave Brayden in Season 1 when first telling him about the Tejada family. Tariq told Brayden that Lorenzo was the king, Monet was the queen, Kane the knight, Drew is the rook, and Diana is the bishop. Now, in the game of chess, the most important piece is the king, but the most powerful piece is the queen because she can move anywhere on the board. While the king has limited movement, but is considered the most important piece because if your opponent checkmates your king, the game is over with, even if you still have all the rest of your pieces on the board. Unlike checkers, where your goal is to take all of your opponent's pieces. So because of that, the king in the game of chess must be protected at all times. The person who is actually controlling pieces could also be considered the king because that is the person essentially doing the job of the king, calling the shots and putting pieces in position. So we see that Lorenzo, while in jail, was the perfect king according to this scenario. He was able to call all the shots for the Tejada family without ever getting his hands dirty. But not only that, he had protection of the CEOs on the inside who also could be considered as pawns. But when Lorenzo got out, things changed. He wanted to interrupt the whole system that had made the family successful all those years. So instead of sitting back and letting business go on as normal, calling shots from home, Lorenzo wanted to be a king who got his hands dirty. But at the same time, Lorenzo sidelined Monet, not wanting her to any longer be involved in the business because she's been running things for too long. So this is basically like in chess, using your king and protecting your queen. And you're never going to win a chess match that way. And it wasn't long after Lorenzo got out of prison when he had already made a vital mistake. Monet had a plan to take down Mecca and took him out according to the plan. But at the last minute, Lorenzo decided to take matters into his own hands and went to Mecca's hangar. As Zeke pulled up and boarded the plane, thinking he was Mecca, Lorenzo gunned him down, in the process killing Monet's oldest son, sending Monet into a deep depression and demanding vengeance for Zeke's killer. Monet had a one-track mind after Zeke was killed and was getting frustrated as months began to pass, and Lorenzo was never able to find the killer. Obviously not coming clean to Monet about who the real killer was. But as Monet only grew more angry about the whole situation, Lorenzo got a scapegoat to take the fall. The last remaining GTG member, International Guap, keeping in mind that the Tejadas already wiped the GTG bloodline off the map. So Monet was finally able to move forward after thinking she took out Zeke's killer. But not too much later, Monet got a police report after Davis had somebody break into Detective Whitman's apartment and found out that Lorenzo Tejada's fingerprints were at the scene. Because of this, Monet began to low-key put a hit in order on Lorenzo, turning to Evelyn Castillo and letting her know that Lorenzo put the hit on her husband Frank from the inside. But Evelyn wouldn't retaliate because she wanted no more bloodshed and didn't want to risk losing one of her sons. But since the plan with Evelyn didn't work, when Drew's boyfriend Gordo showed up to the house, she tried her luck with him. And Monet got Gordo to do her dirty work for her, killing her husband, Lorenzo. But after Gordo started getting cocky with Monet, knowing that he could hold the fact that she wanted Lorenzo dead over her head at any time, she then conspired to take Gordo out by planting the birder she was on communication with him on Kai after he was killed. And later on, Drew found out that Gordo was the hitter when Gordo was in the shower, and he killed Gordo for killing his father Lorenzo, breaking Drew's heart in the process. But as a result of taking out Gordo, he later on got drunk, and this went viral, and Drew and Kane had to wipe out the entire Castillo bloodline also. So Monet thought she was in the clear until Tariq took the files from Davis and put them under his mattress, as Monet sent Diana to investigate Tariq after they got a letter from Cooper Sacks saying that Tariq was a snitch. Because of this, Drew and Diana pretty much figured out the whole story, with Kane confirming that Lorenzo killed Zeke and that he suspected that Monet was behind Lorenzo getting killed, letting them know that she had already threatened to kill him for keeping his father's secrets. But the difference between Kane and Drew and Diana is that Drew and Diana wanted revenge on Monet for what she did, as Kane saw it all as part of the game and the life they were involved in, and had no resentment toward his mother, Drew even saying that Kane had always been a mama's boy. So Diana and Drew put a plan together that would eliminate Monet, Kane, and Tariq so they would be able to move forward with their lives outside of the family business. The plan was to have Tariq kill Monet, then Kane would kill Tariq, and Kane would go to prison for killing Tariq. But the plan was interrupted because before Diana could pull out the driveway, Tasha St. Patrick came through firing at Monet and Diana, resulting in Monet getting shot and forcing Diana and Drew to pin everything on Tariq still to avoid anyone looking in their direction. The title of Season 4, Episode 1 is I Don't Die Easy. Likely the title is this because Monet survives the attempt on her life. And now she sees this as a second chance to do right by her children, not knowing that two of her children just wanted her dead and tried taking her out. But there's a chance that Diana will have a change of heart after Monet saved her life in the drive-by. And even before that, Diana was about to call the whole thing off after Monet just finished telling her why she had always been so hard on her, apologizing and telling Diana that she loved her. But Drew, on the other hand, is too damaged to forgive Monet. Because not only did he lose his father, but he was used as a pawn to take out his own boyfriend, who Monet lied to and manipulated to kill Lorenzo. Keep it in mind that it wasn't Lorenzo who put the hit out on Frank, but it was Monet, and the hit was carried out by Kane and Drew themselves. So Drew is feeling a special type of way, thinking that both Lorenzo and Gordo's deaths were completely unnecessary. So because of this, I think Drew will continue to plot to take out his mother. At the same time, both Diana and Drew will need to be covering their tracks. Because if Monet saw it was a female shooter or sees on her security, everyone's going to wonder why Diana said it was Tariq in the first place. Then there's also the fact that it was Diana who went to Kate in a red wig, giving Kate the letter with Tasha's location for Tommy, pretending to be Monet. Keep it in mind that this was all recorded on Kate's Ring door cam. So at this point, Drew has kept his hands clean, and all the blame is pointing into the direction of Diana. So with Diana having a change of heart, could she possibly come clean to Monet about what happened? Or will the change of heart have Drew see her as a loose end and take out Diana himself? Keep it in mind that the Tejada family has already wiped out the GTG bloodline and the Castillo bloodline. What are the chances that we could see the Tejada wiping each other out one by one? Because we've already seen it begin with Monet taking out Lorenzo and Drew and Diana planning to take out Monet. So I can definitely see a situation play out something like Drew kills both Diana and Monet, then Kane kills Drew and is the last Tejada standing. Or a situation where Drew kills Monet, Kane in return kills Drew. Then to leave her family behind for good, Diana kills Kane and moves to Atlanta like she discussed doing in Season 3. But at the end of the day, if this scenario happens and the Tejadas wipe each other out, I do think that one will survive. And the survivor would be either Kane or Diana. Possibly Kane and Diana could both survive this series also. But at best, I can only see two Tejadas survive in Book 2. And I think Monet will definitely be took out before the series is finished, or at least sent to prison, because I don't think Starz is trying to pay Mary that $400K per episode salary moving into the next spinoff. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.